Three marine animals pretend to be human boys. Or is it the other way around? Huh. Well, whatever. I don't really get paid enough to remember anyways, so let's just continue. These three humans who are most probably furries discuss about issues that are too difficult for their brains to comprehend in the first place. Welcome to the first episode of the Offsprings podcast. Hey guys, welcome to the first episode of the Offsprings podcast. I'm Shrimp.
I am Turtle.
I'm Walrus.
That's amazing. We actually did the intro after like the 457th fucking take.
Why is my name
Jesus
Turtle?
You signed up for
I
this
thought we
shit.
were going with the bit. I thought we were going with the bit. What happened to the bit?
Shut the fuck up, okay? Nobody goes with the bit anyways. Thank God the intro is out of the way. Let's actually get right into it. So the other day I was looking at Neuralink, right? And I find it really interesting actually as a topic to talk about and as a whole because I mean it's like a fucking chip in your brain, you know? And a lot of people are looking at the good sides of it. I want to actually focus on the bad sides of it. Now, to those of you who don't know what Neuralink is, by the way, Turtle Walrus, do you guys know what Neuralink is?
Yeah,
Yeah.
we do know.
Yeah.
Yeah, like the basics at least.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, okay, that's great. So, to those guys who don't know what it is in the audience, Neuralink is basically just a company that Elon Musk started. And he started this company about 2 years ago, but he's publicly announced it just recently, I think about a month or 3 weeks ago. Don't really know the exact date. But yeah, so the website had a live stream, okay? When it just announced its, that it's come out. It had a live stream on explaining what Neuralink is, what they do, how they do it. And even if you go to the website right now, you can see the research paper, and I think it's a patent or the research paper. I don't know which one of the chip and how they make the chip, as well as the device that implants the chip into your brain. Now, agreed that the scientists that are there working for Elon, as well as I mean, it's a $181 million company, and out of which 100 million was actually invested by Elon himself, and the rest has
Damn.
been invested. Yeah, legit. And the rest was invested by I think a few other investors whose names I do not know. Now, talking about the chip, right? It's about 4 inches wide, 2 inches in length. But the implant
No.
yeah.
It's 8 millimeters in diameter and it's 4 meter tall. 4 millimeters tall.
Oh yeah, yeah. Okay. Thanks for that.
Yeah.
Thank you.
No
Yeah.
problem.
But like yeah, so it's not really the size that matters. I mean, yeah, the size does matter. I mean, you're putting this chip in your fucking brain, but what really matters to me is there's a chip in your brain. And why I'm constantly repeating that is a lot of people haven't asked the tough questions. Like, if there's a chip in your brain, first of all, what does it mean to have this chip in your brain? I mean, what does it do? Well, simple answer to that, it's an interface for your brain to have with a computer. So basically, it's just, for instance, like how you use a keyboard with your hands to direct a monitor or certain objects on a monitor, like your cursor, etc. Just canceling out the middleman and directly interfacing your brain with the computer. No, that does not mean that you can, utilize a cursor. Well, it does mean that, but they're canceling that out completely. So no need of computers. You basically have the ability to surf the internet in your mind. Practically, that's exactly what I think. That's what Elon's aiming for in like the next 10 to 12 years to actually.
Here's why. Here's why I think Neuralink is beneficial.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, there's a lot of things that affect the idea of Neuralink. Firstly, ethics. Is it ethical? Obviously, I'm supporting.
No, but yeah.
Because
Yeah, go ahead. Sorry. I didn't mean to cut you.
Because, it could be, it probably is really unethical because you're implanting 1,000 different, I mean, not different, but 1,000 electrodes that catch signals from the synapses in your brain.
No, it's actually 121 to be exact. Because, I mean, like, I just want to stop you there for a reason, right? You're right. One, it is unethical, or at least it was unethical to actually have a human subject to be subjected to this. But then again, if everyone agrees to it, so Elon is basically coming out to the public, and right now especially, and this is what really matters, right? Why isn't everyone looking at the negative aspects? I mean, you see a lot of videos and a lot of videos going to the pro. It's because of one thing I like to always say to myself, especially: one man wanting to change himself will equal to one man changing, you know, in the entire populace. But one man,
Yeah, I get it.
one man wanting to change himself with impact, right? With impact, which means charisma and and a magnetic personality, will be equivalent to a whole army of people wanting to change themselves into that very same thing. Plus the one person obviously wanting to change in the first place. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Mhm.
So I think the reason why Elon coming out right now, and it sounds like I'm talking about him coming out as gay, but no, Elon's company Neuralink coming out right now, for him is one of the greatest things, is because he knows he has that impact in the world right now. I mean, he knows he has a lot of followers. So yes, it is unethical. Like for instance, to a lot of people who don't know Soltech, it's the startup that I'm starting, and I have started actually, and we focus on, you know, basically implanting WBCI, which a chip that's integrated to actually interface between a computer and connect it to your brain. But instead of actually implanting it within the brain, what we've done is we've kind of found a loophole of sorts and implanted in something called a ganglion within the stump of a person's arm, because we're aiming to actually help people that are amputated and they need prosthetics, you know, artificial limbs, so that to replace their actual limbs, because, you know, their limbs for some certain reason, traumatic incidences, etc., have been cut off. And to replace them, we have bionic prosthetics, or what we like to call them, neuroprosthetics. So this chip is implanted in a ganglion, which is a cluster of neurons that you can find in your arm, right? And it can interface the entire arm or the brain from this ganglion to the computer, instead of having it actually implanted within the brain itself. And the reason why we did that was because it was unethical to actually put in the brain. You guys get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I mean, regardless of putting in the brain, you're still affecting the body in a way, right?
yeah,
Because
but yeah,
it still connects. I'm sure. I guess it still connects to your. Did you say PNS?
yeah, it does.
So wouldn't it still? Could it still have some side effects?
You know, yeah, I mean, see, it depends on what side effects you're talking about. Because I mean, if you're talking about like biohacking, it's possible to biohack it, like a lot of things, unless you have a really good mainframe or like a really good system that cannot be hacked. And that's what I'm actually worried about. And yes, that is a big worry in our startup as well, and a big question that we are trying to answer in our startup as well. But I want to know, how is Elon actually answering that question, and how Neuralink's answering that question? Because if it's directly connected to the brain, anyone, and I mean anyone, can basically short circuit the entire chip, and may as well, you know, kaplute your entire brain in a few seconds. You know what I'm talking about? Through biohacking. And you'd say it's biohacking because it's actually like you're hacking a system within your body, right? And it becomes a part of you. And I'm totally all in, right, for artificial evolution, or excuse me, what they call neolution, you know. And that's actually a term from Orphan Black, to anyone who actually watches that out in the audience. Great show, by the way. Definitely recommend that shit.
I mean, here's why I think Neuralink is amazing. Okay.
Yeah.
Firstly, it's obviously it has its bad things to it. I mean, there's a lot of negative aspects to it, but it allows you to explore the brain on a bigger scale. Like you could, like it could be really helpful for like studying
Yeah. Agreed.
disorders like depressive disorders like bipolar or something. It's I mean it kind of is unusual to see such an idea pop up so suddenly, because you would think that all of this would be fiction, right? Because you've seen it in fiction.
Yeah, exactly.
Um,
It's not really sudden though. I mean, like,
yeah, I mean, it's been there for a while.
it's not
It's
only,
not new,
no, it's not even
but
about that. Yeah, I mean, agreed. It's been there for a while, but it's like, I mean, we're pretty late to the game, because something I really say a lot as well is I feel like the human race is very stagnant right now. I mean, you see a lot of millennials, us, our generation, the generation a little ahead of us, Gen Z even. They talk about depression on a constant basis. They talk about, wanting to kill themselves and mood. Oh, I want to kill myself. Oh, that's such a mood, right? I mean, like, dude, yes, I do feel what you're feeling. But at the same time, at the same time, I'm just like, why is it not exciting to just be human, anymore? Like, why is it that I have to look for excitement and look to be satisfied in unnecessary activities like having a relationship? Or I'm not saying having a relationship is not necessary. I mean, it is necessary, but I'm just saying, like, people go out of their way to actually search for these activities and search for these things that are really necessary or don't even come close to what you want to live for and what your actual purpose is. And
I mean, to
yeah,
counter that, I just want to say, like,
yeah,
I mean, there are quite a bit of forces that constrain people as well. First of all, it's socialization in any form. That's a major constraint on. I know we're going off topic from Neuralink,
that's
but I
cool.
just want,
Yeah,
socialization obviously plays a bigger part in why people feel this way. So
yeah, no, I get that. But see, I mean, like, look at it this way, right? How big? It's about 100 million subscribers to PewDiePie, I think, right?
101.
mhm.
101 million subscribers to PewDiePie, right? Now, that guy, he says, I mean, I'm a part of the Bro Army. I've been a 9-year-old since like what, back into 2012. I think all of us have actually been a 9-year-old since 2012, right?
Yeah, pretty
Yeah,
much.
since the days of the battle. But like, yeah, but like, you see him, and at least I'm always like intrigued to know what his ideas and morals are. And every time he talks about his ideas, his beliefs, and his morals, I'm very impacted. You get what I'm saying? So it comes right
Mm.
back around to influencers and the impact they have on the community or the following that they've got. You get what I'm saying? And this social group, right? And I think this is what I really like about Elon in the first place. He wants to change the world for the better, and he's looking for a brighter future and a brighter tomorrow. Which is what I said. I'm all in for the artificial evolution. But then again, even though he's got followers saying, I love Neuralink as an idea, quote unquote, they love Neuralink as an idea. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So another thing is like, if you actually go up to these people, how many people will actually sign up to get this chip implanted in their head?
See, I think here's the thing. Obviously Neuralink is so, it's big, right? Obviously.
Yeah.
And here's why I think people would sign up. Like, not a lot, at least not in the start. But if it all goes well, if it's well protected, if it's not that unethical, which I don't believe. I mean, it's probably going to be unethical. But there's some wider aspects to Neuralink. The ability, for example, the ability to, record your like what do you want to think, like what you're thinking, and then transferring it to, your brain, and being faster with that is impressive. Like it really is. And the ability to record your your signals, and then decoding them to reveal something about your brain is also pretty impressive. That, I think that's why a lot of people would actually prefer Neuralink. I mean, it, in a way, think about it, it is something that we all dreamed about, in a way.
Yeah,
no, I
but then
definitely
didn't
agree.
this start up for people who are like paralyzed? because of some
Yeah.
It
incidents.
started for people mostly to treat disorders in a very
Yeah,
you
because like there are some
what,
people who can't really move their hands, or
like Parkinson's disease,
yeah,
like people with Parkinson's
Yeah.
disease. It's
And
I
multiple
think it's
sclerosis as
recommended.
well.
yeah.
Yeah.
So the
Yes,
chip would be really, really good for them if it works.
See,
it's a good
yeah, it's definitely a good invention for those guys, right? But I mean,
Yeah,
like, in the end of the day, again, this is what I'm saying, right? Like, what's the future? Do you get what I'm saying? I mean, like, yes, these people, these paralyzed people, are definitely in need of it. But I really do suggest that if we, as in the human civilization, are ever actually go to our next evolutionary stage, I think it's important and impeccable and actually inevitable to a certain extent as well that we each get these chips in our head. As the general public, I mean, no matter whether you have a disorder or not, yes, at this point of time, it's not recommended because obviously, what's to say that it cannot be biohacked, and what's to say that that it would explode at any given point of time, or what's to say that it would even have a big life expectancy instead of a short lifespan and having to actually go back and to the center all the time to actually just fucking repair certain circuits or repair certain things that get what do you call that,
You know what
damaged.
I really find impressive with Neuralink is that the endless possibilities that you could have with it. For example, could you record your dreams? Maybe could you
Yeah.
use this chip in another person
And
and
yeah,
feel the way the other people want to
so
feel,
what you're
or
saying
like
that
remember
because of the chip, telepathy can be possible.
in a way. I mean, not telepathy exactly, but
but it would
people could
definitely increase empathy.
experience what other feel.
Yeah, it
Yes,
would increase empathy, right, in people. I mean, yeah.
it gives, and it helps. I think it'll help people to with disabilities as well to like recover properly, and
But
I mean mostly just to experience life better.
now, what's something nobody's talking about right now is utilizing Neuralink's chip as a tool to finally define consciousness
Oh, that's interesting.
and actually fucking be able to code consciousness. I mean, if you look at our wave patterns and our brain patterns and then go deeper into it, whether when subconscious, so because I mean, there are certain brain waves, like for instance, alpha wave and beta wave, and that's what we utilize as well for the prosthetic limbs. We utilize brain waves and frequencies to connect the limb to the brain to the CPU, because that's kind of the easiest way to go instead of the electrical impulses, because the electrical impulses are too small. So is the brain waves, but these frequencies in certain aspects, which I will not disclose, can be amplified. You could actually look deeper and have a chip within your mind, record those brain waves, to go deeper into those brain waves and the production of it, maybe go deeper into understanding consciousness as a whole. We could be able to watch and replay our dreams or memories back in our minds itself using that chip.
Yeah, is it like, does it record what your cognition, like how your cognition works?
See, I mean, like,
know?
recording cognition in the end of the day, again, I want to make very clear, it's not like it's pictures, and it's definitely not like it's code,
Yeah,
right? It's
you have to decode it,
no,
obviously.
it's not something you can decode. It's actually just frequencies, because in your mind there's two types of things. There's electrical impulses and there's brain waves, and that's just a byproduct of these electrical impulses. I would say personally, to tap into anything recurring, talking about the brain, the easiest thing to tap into, at least, is the brain waves, right? Because and I think it's the easiest thing to use as well, because you can use an analog to digital converter to convert these frequencies to digital data, right? And then from frequencies you can go into binary. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yes, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, so I think this chip would be a really good.
Yeah,
I mean,
I have a
like,
question for you guys.
it's definitely revolutionary tech.
Okay, what
Yeah.
do you think Neuralink, like what application would Neuralink have according to you guys? It could be, I mean, it could be anything that you guys think of.
For me, I mean, the application wise, I think it's a big utilization. I mean, if you're making
Like
neuroprosthetics
let's think
as a
of a
whole,
bigger picture here, not just for people who are disabled. Okay, let's say
Yeah.
10 years, 15 years into the future after Neuralink is released. What do you think people would be using it for? Like work?
telepathy, definitely communication, definitely, dude. There could be there's a huge world out there then. Like, I mean, as you said, right, this broadens the entire horizon of utilizing our brain. You know, it's like, fuck the 100% utilization of the brain alone. We can just 150% this shit. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, I guess you become like, no, I wouldn't say smart. I mean, I guess, but you just react faster to things in a way.
I see, personally, I don't know how reacting faster. I actually don't think that would be the case. I think we'd react slower.
Why do you think that?
I think our thought process definitely would increase. You know, I think our problem solving skills will increase because the connection to the internet is right in our mind. But our brain would function differently. Like, the addition of something new and foreign to our
Mhm.
brain, I think a very minute, this, what do you call, side effect would be that our impulses as a whole and the utilization for basic motile function would decrease.
So it just supports.
And maybe not maybe not extensively, but definitely in a noticeable rate. You know, like, for instance, a person, I don't know, I guess a person running at, how fast is Usain Bolt? Like 82
I
or
genuinely
80
don't have a
mph?
clue. I'm sorry.
Yeah, neither do I.
Well,
I mean, I think
we get the point though.
yeah, like Usain Bolt, right? He runs at 27.8 mph, by the way. So that's like 44.72 kilometers per hour, right? I bet if he had this chip in his brain, he'd have to run twice more the practice, or practice twice more than he usually does to keep and maintain the speed, for a fact. And I feel like that'd be a heavy effect, definitely. Because, like, think of it this way, right? Like, what's the side effect of having a computer and basic technology? And what I mean by basic
You
technology,
gotta charge it every
I mean,
time.
yeah,
I guess, yeah. You need a power. I don't need a power.
Exactly. No, like what I'm saying is that what I'm saying is that you have to charge it. Like I'm pretty sure there's an equipment behind your ear. I don't know the name, but you have to charge it, right?
no. See, I don't think Neuralink will be that type. So, think some devices that, like a pacemaker, right? I think it has a
Yeah.
lifespan. A pacemaker basically is just a fake heart, you could say, to people who have very weak hearts, or basically don't have a
Yeah.
heart that functions properly. And basically, so a pacemaker has, I think, a lifespan about 10 years. 10 years. And what that means is
I
every
think so.
10
It's
years, yeah, every 10 years, the guy has to come back to replace his pacemaker. Okay. And so I think it's the same thing. I think that's the exact same thing that will be the case for Neuralink. It'll have a lifespan as long as maybe 8 years, or maybe even 3 years, but every
Yeah, that
certain
makes sense.
time, yeah, there will be definitely a lifespan. And then at this point of time, they'll call you up, they'll tell you, hey, you got to replace this chip, so let's extract it and then replace it. And the good thing is that they've not only come up with a chip, they've even come up with a way to implant it without affecting any of the blood capillaries in the brain. So they have thought about a lot of factors and factored in a lot of variables. But what I want to know is, have there been human subjects for
No,
this?
in
Like,
the
people who
research, they said
have
they
this
use
implant?
monkeys, which again is very
They use
unethical
Yeah,
because they
and
had to do it
rats.
on someone because they couldn't obviously do it on a human right away.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
but like, I don't think, like, see, another thing is, and I know this is going to be going away from the topic at hand, but unethically utilizing animals. All right. Like, yes, I understand they don't have a freedom of speech, and I completely get that. But personally, I think if we humans want to evolve further, and by want, I don't think it's a want anymore. I think eventually it's going to be a very big necessity for us to evolve further. Mostly because we are unsatisfiable creatures. Have never been satisfied. For instance, check, there was a do you guys know there was a, what do you call that, environment strike or climate strike? Do you know what that
Yeah.
is? Yeah.
Yeah.
So basically, people marched, okay, with signs in consideration of the climate. Now, if they were striking for, like, towards the government, that's understandable. But these guys were just doing it for the heck of doing it, because the climate's not an actual entity. It's not going to listen to you. It's not going to see you strike and be like, oh god, man, I'm doing the wrong
Yeah, but
thing
the
here.
people who
I need to put
Yeah.
clouds
already
back in
aware.
the
The
fucking
whole
sky.
point of a rally is to create awareness.
Yeah, I get that. See, I understand the awareness point, but everyone knows it. Alright, it's not like it's unknown, right? But what I mean, other than rallying up, see, awareness right now, think of it as a scale, right? There's awareness and then there's action. Now, if you think rallying is action, no, it's awareness, right? And you fill the awareness bar up to its limit.
But
And I can say for sure, I ask anyone, even people that are kind of illiterate in Mumbai itself, that hasn't it become more hot lately? They will say for a fact it is. I shit you not, it is hotter than usual. So if anyone knows it, it's the people who are actually illiterate know it more than the people who are literate, because they're living in it. So I feel like, yes, awareness is important, but eventually it comes to action, right? And that's again one thing about biotechnological advancement. A lot of people don't understand the needs for technological advancement. I mean, you look at it, I've seen a survey. So there was a whole 2019 consensus I had to do research on for my college, okay? There was some debate that was on. And so there was a consensus that stated that about, I think, 78% of the entire human populace disagree with biotechnological advancement. And the reason for that is either religion and cultural, fear, or not
I think
understanding, which
here's
again
why I
comes into
think
fear.
fear would be the most significant, reason. Because you've obviously seen it in movies. Movies act as a huge secondary socialization agency, okay? What movies do
Yeah.
is that
Yeah, I agree with that.
plan out this entire scene where they show that biotechnology is harmful, you get shocked or whatever, you die. And that's why people it provokes fear, right? And that's why people are like, oh, okay,
Yeah.
no, we're scared because it.
But come on, man. I mean, like, look at this. If exactly what you're saying is correct, which I do agree with you, is correct.
Mhm.
Dude, Terminator, right? That's not biotechnological advancement. That's technological advancement.
Yeah, true.
There was an article called The Dark Art of AI that I read, and I shat my pants. Legit shat my pants when I read this. And I'm not joking, right? So basically, this company, whose name I don't know, I completely forgot because I read this about 2-3 months ago, but I still remember the entire article because I genuinely fear it. So this company, they work on self-driving cars, all right, and they make a self-driving car and they teach it through machine learning with an actual driver. They teach it how to drive. Eventually, it learns completely and it knows how to drive and it's listening to commands. Now, you'd think at this point of time, hey, the experiment's over, right? That's it. To everyone's not excitement, but it really stunned a lot of people, is that after conducting about a few iterations of the experiment and showing the car the exact same route and then showing the car different routes as well, the car stopped listening to the commands of the commander. For instance, when the person controlling the car said right, it did not take a right. In fact, it took a left.
Mhm.
Do you get what I'm
Yes.
saying? So personally, that exact thing could. So what really leads to self-awareness? I mean, if you really look at a lot of Stockholm syndrome cases as well, and I'll tell you why psychology is very important when you think about self-awareness of AI. It's because in the end of the day, it is psychology.
In a way, yeah, it
You know?
affects it.
So, yeah, definitely, man. Like, when you look at Stockholm syndrome, when the person realizes it's in a bad state, it stops following the orders of its abuser,
Mhm.
that victim has become self-aware of the situation it's in, correct?
Mm,
And it starts fighting back, correct?
yes.
Yeah. And once that self-awareness is there, in anyone, screw Stockholm syndrome, right? Just put in anyone. If you're in a bad situation and you realize you're in a bad situation, you will do certain things different, correct? And that will be your counteract to the entire, environment and the entire situation as a whole, correct?
Hmm.
So now, when that car stopped following the commands of the commander, that's when it realized, hey, I don't need to follow my commands. And then that builds up and that evolves and it becomes something known as a propagating system. And if it does become something known as a propagating system, which is just a system that can create and replicate itself,
Mhm.
Huh.
yeah, that if that's the case, and if it goes into that stage, it can evolve into an inorganic species, is what I'd like to say. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And if it does evolve into an inorganic species, it's Terminator,
So
isn't it? I mean,
with
like
Neuralink,
the mechanical race versus our
could
race.
that be
Yeah.
possible with the chip? I mean, are you trying to imply that the chip
Pers-
in Neuralink could evolve?
no, not really. I'm very much for Neuralink in that case, because that's going against AI takeover, because that's basically saying,
Yeah, I mean that's a
hey,
smart move because
if
you're
you can,
merging humans. I mean,
yeah,
then you're the
exactly,
humans are
it's
self-aware.
integrating
Yeah.
technology. Exactly, it's integrating technology. It's like, if you can't beat him, join him, right?
Yeah.
That entire
Yeah.
exactly, it's that entire thing. So I think us humans actually artificially evolving into humanoids could, yes, like go for the factor that we could coexist with our lower or juniors, and that our juniors being the actual technologically self-aware inorganic species, which is whatever they are. You
Yeah.
get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Whatever you call them. I don't know. Maybe they're the humanoids and we're something else. I have zero idea.
Huh.
But I mean, they would definitely eventually, we're inevitably getting to that time in that period where we have created life,
Hmm.
you know?
I mean, nonetheless, I mean,
And-
Neuralink
and
is an amazing concept. Let's just agree.
it is. Yeah, I do agree with it. I just want to see it answer a few questions,
Yeah,
which is
because
like, how do you expect to not, like, how many cases would there be to actually have a casualty, or like, how many casualties, how many casualties would be there to make it a system that's safe for the public? Not only that, but like, how many how is it not possible to biohack this thing?
not just that. Let's
You
say
take the best
let's say
hackers.
he's obviously invested a lot, right, into this.
Yeah.
Like, how do you think it'll be accessible to everyone? Obviously, if the costs are really that high, you should expect the price to be something similar, right?
Higher. Yeah, no, not similar, but
Higher.
definitely, yeah, it'll be high. It'll be high as
I
fuck.
mean,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Another thing is that, see, again, right? It's not for the public. That means it's a niche.
I mean,
And if it's a
even
niche,
then, the people who are affected that need it, what is
like, I did a market survey, right? 100%, and this is only an Indian market survey, but about 72% of the public in need for my product is lower class citizens, and the rest is about the rest 28% is about is high class and middle class, out of which, yes, if I hit 5% of that population, by selling my product at about what 18, 19 lakhs, which is still lesser than the amount that my competitors are selling at, which is like Autobot and everything. That's really high prices. But if I sell mine lesser than that, definitely yes, I will hit my break even, and I will definitely hit my entire, the amount that I'm looking for and get a profit out of it. Definitely, I'll get a profit out of it. But now, that's not what we at Zoltech stand for in the first place. I mean, we follow the keywords. We follow innovate, empower, and evolve, right? And we want to evolve the masses. I mean, that's our end goal, to evolve the masses. So how do we get this product to the 72%? And I think that's one of the biggest things that I think Elon himself should be working on with
I'm
Neuralink.
pretty sure he's
How is he
aware.
going to get...
I mean, because let's be honest, brain,
Yeah.
the entire problems with the brain are widely they're there in the general population.
Agreed. In fact, I mean, Elon's the type of guy to not look for it at all. So I don't even doubt him selling it for cheaper and getting a loss in the beginning.
It's that question that is Elon Musk trying to do? He's obviously trying to do good. It's obvious, but will he lower his prices on purpose to make it accessible? Because everyone.
Yeah, how is he gonna? I mean, I'm definitely
curious.
sure he's gonna make it accessible. I'm curious to how.
I'm just curious to how that cost is going to be justified. But that's his problem. Why did put a brain into it? But with Zoltech, I mean, I get it. In India, it's important because amputees in India are a lot in number. And I guess making your arm, your mechanical arm, available to them is quite a good thing if you can do it. So, but overall, Neuralink, I mean, let's end the topic. Let's give it a final.
Yeah, that's too technical.
Let's give it a final opinion. Do you think will succeed in the next 10 to 15 years?
Definitely. Not even 10 to 15, man.
I
give it 3 years and it'll succeed. I mean, if he sells it in the next year and a half, which he's planning on, I'm guessing, dude,
I'm just curious to see the applications with it. I mean, apart from curing people, I just want to see what other people can use it for in innovative ways. That's what I'm most excited about. Not that I'm going to get it for myself. I mean, I might.
Yeah,
dude, I would.
And I can't wait for the AI to take over the world.
I would definitely get it.
I mean,
myself. Definitely.
Personally, I would like to stay human till I die. But,
I have to agree with Tortle.
But do you see that's out of 3 people, 2 of us agreed to wanting to be human, right?
Yes.
So exactly. So that's what my initial point was. How do you expect? Yes, you have 1 million followers, but out of that million, I mean, I bet there'd be 80% of them will say no to actually implanting this in and saying yes to the next evolutionary stage, which is a Corinthian question at the end of the day. But yeah, that's a topic for another day.
Yeah,
that's a topic.
Yeah, it's getting too technical.
God damn, son, you still listening in? Jesus Christ. Yo, guys, come here. Look at this motherfucker. He's still listening.
Look at this bean-ass, jobless-ass little shit.
God damn. Well, since you are still listening in, click the like button since you obviously did like it. And definitely tune in for the next segment by just clicking the thumbnail right above you. Yep, right there. Yeah, just there. Yeah, press that. Good job. No, don't hover over it. No, stop teasing us. Don't tease us like that. Alright, fuck off. No, seriously. Jesus Christ, man. Just get a life.